only a couple days after us coming out of North Dakota, we fire up Scrape Week on October 21st. Uncle Jay's in a stand behind his house, and he has a prototypical Scrape Week hunt.
It's one of the bucks I wanted to see tonight. Just came out super late.
That was insane. It was absolutely just insane what just happened. What in the world just happened?
Tag and Brag Nation, welcome back to another episode of After the Chase. You know, this series that we've been putting together and this project that we've been doing is actually, it's helpful to us too, because we get to go back and watch what we did throughout the season and kind of psychoanalyze what we've done, the decisions that we've made. And it's not only making us better from a hunting standpoint, but also from a filming standpoint and how we can document things to bring our experience to you better. You know, it's hard to believe that it's already midway through October. The North Dakota trips are done with, and we have not had a whole lot going on in Tennessee, Ohio, and New York. But this point of the season, the action really starts to amp up, and as a whitetail hunter, it gets really exciting as we get into the pre-rut phase. Now we are going into a week that we call Scrape Week. And Scrape Week we've had going for a couple years now. It's basically that last 7 to 10 days of October when the bucks are really looking and they're ready, and the does are typically not, or at least the majority of the does are typically not. This time of year has become so coveted to us because the use of trail cameras, the use of scents, and the tactics typically start to change a little bit. And as you start monitoring the trail cameras, typically the bucks will start to daylight, and the more mature bucks will start to daylight during this time. We're typically moving all or most of our trail cameras onto scrapes to try and pick up scrape activity because, as I said, the bucks are up and looking. They're typically ready for that first receptive doe, and they're going from scrape to scrape, property to property. They're expanding their range a little bit, and the opportunities are becoming more fruitful to fill a tag. We've had a lot of success over the years utilizing the information that we get from trail cameras on scrape activity during this Scrape Week, and that's why it's become such a coveted week for us. So, although it's been a tough season, we're rolling into the best part of the season and one of our most favorite parts of the season for us. So we really feel strongly that we can change the momentum, that we can get on some deer, and we're looking forward to going into Scrape Week. So leading up to Scrape Week, Dean and I have primarily been hunting North Dakota. My dad and Uncle Jay have been back in New York and Tennessee, and they've been grinding. Uncle Jay actually knocked a buck down in September in Tennessee, and that's really been the only deer that we've gotten as a team so far this season. Kind of a funny story, but he actually shot the wrong deer, if that makes any sense. He was targeting a specific 10 point on the property that he hunts, and it was getting down to the last few minutes of legal shooting. He saw him coming in. He was coming in with 4 different bucks. The bucks were still bachelored up at this point, and this is where self-filming can really get the best of you, because with the light fading, the deer were coming through a tree row into the field that he was actually sitting on. So from where he saw them first to where they entered the field, there was kind of a blind spot. In the heat of the moment, he set his camera on the field where they were coming out of the woods. He drew his bow. When the buck came out that he thought was the buck that he wanted to shoot, he shot. He absolutely smoked this deer. It ran about 60 yards and piled up. And upon getting up to the deer, he realized that it was not the exact buck that he wanted to shoot. Honestly, no harm, no foul. You know, it's an animal. It's meat in the freezer. It's a life taken. You've got to honor that. You know, these mistakes, they can happen, especially if you hunt long enough. If you put yourself in these scenarios long enough, these things can happen. And it's more of a funny story than anything. Like I said, it's meat in the freezer, it's cutlets on the table, and at the end of the day, that's all that matters. But picking up right where we left off from last episode, only a couple days after us coming out of North Dakota, we fire up Scrape Week on October 21st. Uncle Jay's in a stand behind his house, and he has a prototypical Scrape Week hunt.
I just saw a buck I would put my tag on. That was badass. That was unexpected. I've been bouncing from tree to tree, trying not to overhunt anything, doing really a good job of it. I've already punched the tag, so I gotta be selective. There's another buck. Nice little lake. Let the games begin. There's a third buck, little one, on the same trail as that doe. Ready to tell me she's not ready yet? Maybe not ready yet, but pretty close. It's early, 21st of October. Man, what a morning. Awesome. 42 degrees. Crisp. Light fog. There's really no wind. I decided to jump in here before the thermals, or while the thermals are pushing scent up the hill. It's supposed to be southwest. But man, what a morning. Especially when you see 3 bucks already. Let's go. This buck came from my hillside, across the drain, into the field, and is now on this doe's trail. And the little it's nuts. This is awesome. That's why you get your ass up in the morning, crawl out of bed, do the unsnuggle with mama. They are working this doe's trail. Unbelievable. She went through this field 100 yards. And she's gone. This was 45 minutes ago. And they're working her trail. That's freaking awesome. The little 3-point or 4-point, whatever he is, he's confused as hell. He's still in the field. What can I say? Phenomenal hunt. Phenomenal hunt. Yeah, anytime you see multiple bucks, let alone, I'm almost embarrassed to say, seven buck morning, and a shooter to boot. Awesome. Freaking awesome.
What an incredible hunt for Uncle Jay here on the morning of October 21st. This is the time of year when you can get that first or second doe just starting to get ready to breed, and you're going to get a flurry of buck activity on those specific does because it's not going around everywhere yet. And late October is also a great time to hunt mornings. You're going to get those low temperatures during the day in the morning. Temperatures tend to be a little bit more mild still in October, so it gets warm in the afternoon. A lot of good hunting occurs in the morning in late October. Now, this is where the tactics typically change from the early season food sources to focusing more on scrape activity, focusing more on transition trails. At this point in the season, we've got a majority of our trail cameras on scrapes. Now, they may be on food plots where there's a scrape at the edge of a food plot, so we can kind of monitor both. But essentially, we want to set these cameras up so that we know exactly who's coming in and who's going out of that area. Now, we're also utilizing Code Blue for scents, whether we're doing a scent drag into our tree stand or using them for mock scrapes or existing scrapes to kind of fire up that scrape activity.
We are focusing a lot of our time and energy on scrapes right now because these bucks are staying relatively close to their core right now. They're moving about their domain and they're marking their territory. They're not traveling super far yet. They're waiting for the doe in their specific area to get close to breeding. Our trail cameras are showing that activity. And based off of what my dad has seen over the last couple of days and our trail cameras in New York, I'm getting itchy and it's time for me to head up to New York for an afternoon sit.
Well, October 25th. It's like 75 degrees today. It's pretty crazy. And the last time, I've only sat in this blind once this year, which is surprising because usually it's an early and late season sit. And it was 80 degrees when I sat in here before. I didn't see one deer. And that was like one of the first 2-3 days of the season. And now here I am on the 25th, sitting here again at 75 degrees. I have a little bit more hope today because we got the pre-rut, and I'm just hoping I can get some doe, a couple doe to come out here. It's probably going to be, last half hour, last 45 minutes, I'm guessing. But hopefully, I'd like to get a buck or so out here to check them. I knew it was going to be a late move. Just had a buck we call Kevin. We'll come out and he's just working a couple scrapes. I only got about 2 minutes, about 5 minutes left of camera light. See what he does, but very cool to see that deer. It's one of the bucks I wanted to see tonight. Just came out super late, but kind of expected with the warm weather.
It was super warm this particular evening, so I was not expecting to see a lot of deer, let alone a really nice buck, and this buck we call Kevin. But he came out super calm. He was one of the few deer I saw. It was right at last light, and he was just in his domain, and he hit about every licking branch he possibly could have up the backside of that food plot until I watched them go off into the woods. And that's about what I would expect a buck to do right at the end of October. He's staying close to his core, but he's marking his territory up, and that's exactly what he did on this particular evening. Because of the fact that there was no other deer in the field and it was so warm, he just wasn't real aggressive. He was moving about in a really calm way, but I could tell we are very close to turning that page to things heating up. So I had to go home later that night. I wasn't able to hunt that next day, but my dad had plans to come up and get into that very same spot where I was hunting. Well, he ended up hitting a lot of traffic on the way up to New York. He got to camp a lot later than he was expecting to, so he had to change his plan up a little bit. So he ended up jumping in one of his favorite trees right behind our camp on a lush green turnip plot. And his mission was just to go shoot a doe. He wanted to get a deer in the freezer, and that was his plan for the night. But it wasn't long before deer started showing up on the food plot.
Right behind the tree. Oh my god. Oh my gosh, I freaking smoked them. Holy smokes. I freaking smoked them. Oh, that was a good block. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, that was a mature buck. Holy mackerel, that was insane. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, that was insane. Oh my goodness. Holy smokes. I was watching this doe at 31 yards. And she's staring so bad, I look back and he's right there at 25 yards. Freaking right there, broadside. Oh my gosh, I smoked them. I freaking smoked them. I freaking smoked them. Holy mackerel, I don't know what buck that is, but that's a mature buck. That was insane. It was absolutely just insane what just happened. What in the world just happened? Oh my god. My best archery buck. Oh my gosh.
What an incredible hunt for my dad, for him to be able to pull that off. And this ended up being the same buck that I saw a couple nights prior. He just had no idea at the time. He was so focused on the doe that were out on the food plot, because that was his mission going into the hunt, was to shoot a doe. And until we looked at the footage and then later recovered, he didn't even know what deer he had shot. He just saw a mature buck and made it all happen. But I was in Cleveland that night. I had a basketball game, and I got the phone call And to hear his excitement, that's just absolutely through the roof. You can't teach it, and it's infectious and contagious. It's amazing to be able to experience his excitement, and it gets you just as fired up. So as soon as my game was done, I was so excited to get in the car and head to New York and help my dad recover this deer and go enjoy that moment together. I could not wait.
I see the conflict. Yeah, it's all over. Is he?
Yep.
Where?
Butt right there.
Oh my goodness, he's a good buck, man. He is a good buck for me. He's a good buck. Holy smokes, he's stiff. Wow. I'm at a loss. Beautiful New York 10-point. Unquestionably my best buck. A lot of years in New York. I mean archery, that is. Wow. Amazing. You don't forget these moments. They forever etch in your memory. Every time you're in the woods and stuff, you recall. Crazy. Unreal. Unreal. That's a good buck.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's a nice deer.
Honestly, it doesn't get any better than enjoying a moment like this with your dad, the guy that taught us everything we know about hunting and infused this passion in us. And later in life, the roles kind of reversed, and we gave my dad that same passion for filming. And to kind of bring that whole package together, and my dad was successful at both, doing this all by himself, a successful shot, and capturing it on 3 different cameras is just, it's truly incredible. And then to be able to share his excitement with the both of us at camp, a place that we absolutely love, it just, honestly, for me, it doesn't get any better than that. And we're at a little lull in our season. Things were getting a little bit frustrating. So for my dad to get us on the board in New York, it really changed the script. It changed the energy and really got us going. Just the timing of this hunt was incredible, and it happens so much with hunting in general. But he was planning on going to a completely different spot, and because he had hit some traffic and was late, he ended up jumping in his favorite spot that was closer to camp, and it was just a doe mission. But as we talked about, being in spots where does like to be at the end of October can be really good for a buck hunt, and that's exactly what this turned into. This buck was just cruising along his domain. He came into that food plot to scent check some does, and my dad happened to be at the right place at the right time. Couldn't have worked out any better to get us on the board in New York and kick off our rut portion of the season. Now the very next day, Uncle Jay is going out, but he's taking our good buddy Chris and his son Clay on a Tennessee youth season gun hunt.
Matt.
Shoot him.
I can't.
Find him.
Matt.
Shoot him. Shoot him.
Matt.
No, faster. Wait. Oh, buddy. Stop. He's gonna come over here. How's him? He's gonna come out. Here he comes. You see him, buddy? You got him in your scope.
No, I don't.
Do you see him? He's right there.
Yes.
You got him. Shoot him.
Now.
No, shoot him.
No.
Right.
I can't.
Shoot him.
Matt.
Shoot him. You got him.
Smoke.
I got him. I got him. I got him. I don't think I got him.
He's so long to shoot him.
I was racing for some reason. Mine is. What do you mean?
Oh my goodness.
Gently not to notice it, Clay.
Oh,
Good job.
find ourselves a little band.
How you feel about that?
Oh, yeah, I gotta say my grace. Like Rick, no reaction.
Yeah, right. You were shaking like crazy.
I think Daddy was shaking.
I was shaking like I was shaking like crazy. I'm like, why didn't he shoot? It was perfect.
So funny. Awesome.
Oh my goodness.
That was good.
Right there's one. Right there he is.
Oh, beautiful. Look at the baby boy.
Come on. Okay, look him in the eye with your foot and make sure he's dead.
Oh, look at this bad boy.
Boy.
Down there. You're only gonna hold it with one hand. You're gonna turn it sideways.
Like this.
Hold it right there.
This bad boy's beautiful.
Oh, I lied. It's an 8.
How awesome was that hunt with Uncle Jay, our buddy Chris, and his son Clay? You know, it is an extreme passion of ours. It is a responsibility of ours as hunters to pass this on to the next generation. And for me, there's nothing more that fires me up than to see somebody get their first deer, get their first turkey, whatever the animal is, but to be immersed and to kind of get those wings as a hunter. There's something special about that because of the impact that it's made on our lives. You know, it makes me go back and kind of feel those emotions and just kind of the brotherhood that led into. So, you know, for Uncle Jay, for Chris, and for Clay, this is just an awesome hunt and an awesome experience. It's a memory that Clay will have for the rest of his life. His dad, Chris, and even Uncle Jay will all have this for the rest of our lives. And it's, once again, it's just so important to introduce somebody new into the sport. It's not getting any bigger. We're certainly fighting battles, not only outside of the hunting community, but a lot of times inside of the hunting community. So to be able to transition and to pass those values on to somebody and to get them their wings as Clay got his wings with his first buck in this episode, it's something special. It's something that we certainly don't take lightly. And as a part of Tag and Brag, and really Tag and Brag Nation, like, that's one of our main goals, is to pass this on, is to enhance the sport of hunting for the next generation so that they too can enjoy it and they too can get the values that we've all gotten from the great sport of hunting. Well, you guys, that pretty much concludes the Scrape Week action. It was a great week. Pops got it done on an awesome self-filmed hunt. Super, super proud of him. 3 different angles on that hunt. Shot an amazing buck up in New York. You know, my dad put so much blood, sweat, and tears into that property, into our homeland, into Camp Cutlet, and for him to be able to do that literally in one of the stands that's the closest to the house, I know how special that was for him. It was an amazing moment to watch and to be a part of for us, and we're proud of him for that. Proud of Chris, proud of his son Clay, proud of Uncle Jay for getting them involved. And now we are shifting gears to Rut Week. We got a group coming up to camp for Rut Week. This is the coveted week of the year. This is something that we look forward to all year long, and we cannot wait to pack the trucks from Tennessee to head up north, meet up with Dino, my dad. We got cousins coming in, and we are looking forward to an amazing, amazing Rut Week. As the season progresses and as the pre-rut starts to fizzle out and what we've seen over this scrape week, and as we dive closer and closer in to that peak of the rut, we are timing it up perfectly for an amazing and an eventful Rut Week.